Assalamualaikum and a very good day I bid to all the respected interviewers. First of all, I would love to express my appreciation and my gratitude for this wonderful opportunity in participating for today's interview. First of all, for today's presentation, I have prepared a job application for the position that I will be applying in your company, which is as a clinical psychologist. For today, we will be going over the overview first. Firstly, I will go to the introduction, which I will be explaining about my identification information. Secondly is where I will explain the purpose of applying for this job application, which is the reason why I chose to become a clinical psychologist. And the third is my areas of expertise, which where I will explain about my strengths and my improvements. And lastly, I will be explaining about my Holland's personality test results. To start off, I have not introduced myself. My name is AIMI BINTI RUSDI, and this is my identification information. I was born on the 28th of June in 1998, and I have just turned 22. I have taken an education in Bachelor of Psychology Hans, and below is the email information and my phone number. If you have any inquiries to contact me, feel free to do so. This is the main highlight of today's presentation, which is the purpose or the core reason why I chose to want to become a clinical psychologist, especially in this work line for your company. I have worked with many children for the past 8 years with high fly kids, and I have many experiences starting from scratch. There are three main simple reasons, and I will start off with the first one, which is encourage. I love to encourage people to be better. There's nothing more beautiful in life than seeing a troubled individual and they finally turned into someone better. Their life turned upside down because they actually came to us and they found more encouragement to do things in their life. It brings me joy and happiness being able to help someone. It is actually my biggest virtue to give encouragement to people. Secondly is socializing. If I'm representing it well, I have a bright personality. The reason why I wake up in the morning and I'm excited to do my job. Basically, interaction is the key of being a clinical psychologist. There will be many therapies and sessions that we will have to build a bond with our clients. Our job is to work in a large community, and therefore a good communication is actually the good key, the strong key that will help us to be better as a clinical psychologist and help people understand us better, and we can understand them as well. Meeting new people and socializing with them is what I offer my service for as a clinical psychologist. Lastly is learn. Knowledge is a development in life. There is no end in understanding the human brain and the human behavior. There are other tasks as what clinical psychologists can do, which is other than talking to people, which is 1, teaching, 2, conducting research, and 3, counseling. And I'm willing to learn new things every step of the way because I'm still in learning progress and I love to gain more new knowledge and understand people better. Moving on to the areas of expertise is where I will explain about my strengths and my areas of improvement. So these are my strengths. The first one is understanding. Being a psychologist, we have no choice but we must be understanding. This is because being judgmental should never be allowed in the work line option of being a psychologist. We must know how to express our concern for others by understanding the client's needs and feelings. This helps us to keep our emotions in check and know that our emotions will not disrupt our work progress, because good understanding will give good stress tolerance, and it can actually help the client to express and be more comfortable around us, and they will not be afraid to actually tell what they feel. Secondly is being a good listener. This is our most basic requirement for being a clinical psychologist, for someone who wants to listen to someone's story. Being a good listener is how we provide our service to others. From this, we can actually build relationships and bonding, which is important with our clients. From this strength is how us as psychologists decides the method to make someone's life better. This is because from how we concentrate with their stories as being a good listener, we would know how to diagnose them properly. We would know where their problem lies, and we would know the right thing to say to them. That's why I'm sure that being a good listener is one of my best strengths, which is why I gave a full bar for the following category. And lastly is being a perfectionist. Usually when you hear being a perfectionist, it's actually a shock and it's actually quite concerning in certain cases, but not for this occupation. This is because being a clinical psychologist, there will be many steps to do in this work line, which is, for example, assessments, observations, reports, interviews, psychometric tests, and more that needs to be tested out and done to a client. This is because detailed work is very important in this work line. This is because someone's mental health is actually on the line. So having a very proper and detailed work is actually very concerning and very important for this work line. One small mistake can actually ruin everything. So I'm very grateful for my strength, which is being a perfectionist, because it can give a very good result in this work. Next, we will be moving on to the areas of improvement. I will first be explaining the first one, which is a multitasker. This is something that I am still working on, which is managing my schedule properly. It is dangerous being a multitasker in this work line because, for an example, if I am having a session with a client and at the same time I'm doing a research, that could result in a very bad decision. For an example, I could actually give the wrong diagnosis because I wasn't paying attention to what they were actually saying. This must be avoided at all costs. Therefore, I'm still managing one big task at a time, making sure to finish one by one and actually updating the schedule according to dates. Secondly is being too dedicated. Overwork is actually one thing that is very popular here in Malaysia. Malaysia is known to be one of the top 5 countries that actually the citizens overwork. Sometimes I forget to put my own needs first. This is because patience is always number one in my life. This could lead to overwork and fatigue, which will result in me not being able to perform my work properly, and I won't be able to excel in it. Therefore, I'm still trying to improve myself, which is allowing a certain schedule at a time, giving more personal time to myself, which will be able to enhance my working skills the very next day and the day after and every day after that. I know I can evolve better if I have the chance with your company because I am willing to learn and improve myself every step of the way and highlighting these improvements as my strengths one day. Lastly is the result of my Holland's personality test. As you can see in the diagram, there are 3 letters labeled in the circle, which is S, A, and E. S will stand for social, or known as helper. This is actually my highest result, which is known to be as someone who loves to help people and prefers a team approach. Basically, it means someone who is very committed to society and a very large number of people in their lives. I myself have volunteered with many foundations, as for an example, with Yayasan Hydrocephalus. I love to participate in volunteering and helping them, giving the necessities for them and actually getting to know their parents better and how they actually go through their daily lives taking care of their children. I've even given free counseling to children, parents, and even my own friends. Secondly, the highest personality test that I have is artistic, or more well known as creator. It means that a person who actually values creativity and originality. I myself, in the terms of artistic, I love theater and I love being in the spotlight. And that will be a problem in this work line is because I'm very comfortable with myself and the children, even my clients, will be very comfortable with me because I will know how to express myself and I'll be very comfortable in making adjustments to make sure they'll be comfortable with me. Lastly is my third personality test result, which is enterprising or known as a persuader. It is actually a person who is a good persuader and has great leadership skills. Being persuasive is actually my job. And sometimes it's actually very good to tell people what they actually want to hear. And I also love being a good leader. I love being a leader and leading those who need help and actually guiding them one by one every step of the way. It is actually, this personality test is actually the main reason why I wanted to really pursue my job in as a clinical psychologist. It just really gave me the push and the light to pursue what I want to do in life. Therefore said, there's a quote that I really love and I actually live by Ludwig Criddle. In life, particularly in public life, psychology is more powerful than logic. So work your mind, think positive, and thank you very much for lending your time and your ears for my interview for today. Below are the contact details you can actually reach out to me, which is my email and my phone number. Thank you so much. That is all from me today. Assalamualaikum.